The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, my name is Leo Connors, and welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. Tonight, I got a very special guest, professional wrestler, Eric Dillon. Eric, thanks, man.
My brother.
Thank you for coming on.
I'm really happy to be here.
All right. Listen, let's get right into it. I want to get the fan questions out of the way, and then we're going to talk wrestling. We're going to talk about a lot of things.
Yes.
From David Baker, who was a guest right here sitting in your seat you're in right now. Why is the BED crew better than the NWO?
I think I guess if we knew now BED, we'd probably rearrange the lettering differently. But
yeah.
The story behind that is it was Brandon, Eric, and David. And I guess, towards the end when, Top Rope Promotions was essentially becoming one entity as opposed to South Coast Championship Wrestling and Yankee Pro running separate shows.
Yep.
There was sort of a power shift on the inside, which led to practice being in New Bedford at the time. It was Hathaway Road, and it was great times. That was probably I started at 13. So very impressionable years for me. And like I said, my two closest friends for practice was David Baker and Brandon Webb, and we bonded firstly over a Family Guy T-shirt because I was extremely shy at first. I'm sure that's extremely hard to believe, but I'm terrified even to be here. But we just bonded, and David's got a family now, and he's doing really well, and I wish I could see him in the ring more. Right. I wish I could see us all in the ring more. But I speak with Brandon almost on a daily basis, and our friendship couldn't be any stronger. And that's why it's for life. Right.
BED.
BED.
Nice. All right. He also wants to know if you passed any clogged toilets on the way here. Yeah. So obviously I know what that is about.
No. Yes.
No? Yes?
Maybe.
All right.
Could have been the cause of.
Okay. And then one more thing. He says, remember that time we tagged against, this is where I can't read my own writing. Dio and George?
Oh, okay.
Is it Dio?
I want to say Davey and George.
All right.
Okay.
And we are going home, and you turn around and look at me and say, what the are we doing?
Yes.
I'm sure I didn't say it as well as David.
Oh, no. David, I think, used the 4-letter word.
Yeah.
I just don't even recall what it was. But it was with anger. Yeah. And that's happened multiple times, and it hasn't been just David on the corner. But I just remember having the most confident look on my face, and then I just turn around to him, and I'm like, brother, what are we doing?
Right.
And he just deadpans me, takes it. And
nice.
David, just like his dad, who trained me, Mike Brickhouse Baker, definitely a childhood hero and an idol of mine for sure. He has the same timing, the ring presence. David's one of my favorite people to be in the ring with, whether I'm working against him, preferably against him. I personally think you have the best matches with your friends. You can hit a little bit harder. Funny story with me and David. We used to have this challenge. It was the vertical suplex challenge. We used to walk through an entire mall or go up an escalator, and he would hold me in a vertical suplex, and I'd post up real good. And at first, I'd be really scared to take vertical suplexes. Mind you, this is somebody the first ever suplex I took. The vertical suplex, I believe, was from Johnny Angel, and I was wearing white shorts, and they weren't white when I finished. Okay?
Oh, here's another one of those stories on the show.
Yeah, this one doesn't involve Sid Vicious though, or anything like that. This is just me. This is just me shitting my pants.
Yeah,
yeah. But the bottom line was that I got over my fear by David just literally stalling me straight across, whether it be the Taunton Mall, the Galleria Mall, the Dartmouth Mall. We've had a stalling suplex through every tri-state area.
Nice. So I got to ask you this.
Sure.
You were a fan, like before you got in the business, of the indies? Because a lot of the guys
Yeah.
come in and don't find the indies, honestly, until after they've started trading.
I actually, yes. Okay, so I was introduced to wrestling before in a national level, watching Raw and Nitro, but I just turned 30 last month, so the ruthless aggression era for me was very emotive,
right?
As opposed to some of the guys who remember 96, 95, or maybe the lesser years, 94,
right.
93. The new generation or whatever, which is just as great. It's all great wrestling.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Looking
It
back,
is.
2020 hindsight, you
Yep.
know. But for me, oh my God, what was the question?
The question was, you were a fan as a youngster.
I was a fan as a youngster, yes, but
of indies too.
Yes, and this is how this initially started. I was invited to go to a show. Now, at the time, I lived in an apartment complex, and the downstairs neighbor, her boyfriend was Superstar Sean Candido.
Oh, okay.
And Superstar Sean Candido had a blonder hair than me, tighter body than me, and shinier pants than me. And man, he was looking good that night.
Yeah.
I still got some pictures. He doesn't want to see them though, I don't think. But anyways, I was a real big fan of the very first show I went to at the Fisherman's Club in New Bedford, Massachusetts. And, I do remember Chris Hamrick was there.
Oh, nice.
And a lot of guys like Iron Fist, Makazi and Blade, Jason Blade, Athena,
Yep. I haven't heard
so many
her name in a long time.
Jay Busta.
Yep.
Shout out to Jay Busta. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Family man.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Good dude. I would never think that Jay Busta would be a family man, and that's not a knock on anything, but I'll tell you, that man is like a living embodiment of NSYNC in every boy band you want. Man, I want to strangle him. He's so goddamn hot.
One half of a great tag team, the Canadian Superstars, with Dave Cole, who's killing it doing his art.
Dave Cole and I speak not about wrestling, but sometimes about painting.
Yep.
And I enjoy doing customs myself. I do a lot of just, whether it's work for people or for my own
custom
self.
figures?
Yes, custom wrestling
cool.
figures. Whether it be pops or whatever.
Right.
And Dave's just so talented with anything. I mean, once I saw his work with the Beyond canvases.
Yeah.
And, just the art he was just being commissioned for. The first piece I was really impressed with was, I think Brandon Webb had him commission a Super Mario styled version of Kane. The canvas came in, and I was just, this is amazing. Right. So I personally messaged him. I was like, this is, you got to do something with this. And he didn't need me to tell him that.
Right. But it was nice to tell him, right?
But it was nice to tell him. And, from somebody that knows, another person, a colleague, I think any compliment that's endearing, regardless of whether it's wrestling or not, I think Dave Cole's a great person. And I think I think whether or not he's actively wrestling or not, he's contributing a hell of a lot to the business.
Sure is. Absolutely. All right. Matt West. What was the best double suplex you ever took, and why was it by Mad Dog Matt Storm and Evan Six?
Can I leave now?
Is this going to be a good story? I would
Well,
imagine.
I don't know if it's going to be a good story for me, but I guess,
right.
I don't know. I was young and it was cold, all right? But, so, here I am. I don't know, maybe this is 2007, and we're at a Tommy D show. This is PLW, and at the time, like I said, I was always a big fan of the indie wrestling. And like I said, after that first match, I started, looking back into guys like Chris Duffy and, Robbie Ellis, and having more respect for people that weren't as recognized, like Raging Bull Jr. and, Atomic Ant, all these, Manny, Mike Edwards, all these guys, Sky King, don't kill me, Sky King.
He's been here.
I know he has, and Maverick Wild too, and that a lot of these guys, Brian Walsh is another guy that Ray Apollo, all those guys,
right.
Just from that area, I just tried to. They were able to make it and ascend to the next level in a different era, so I would just try and follow or to the best of my ability understand what they did to get there.
Right.
And that was it from there,
All right. Why did Matt Storm nearly die laughing?
Well,
and I know why. Hey, we've gone this far already.
I've tried to, derail the question, but I'm just ribbing. So basically, we had this PLW show, and it was me and Steve, and the German Strangler, Alex Payne, Steve Langer, who's a good brother, a real friend of mine. Love you, Steve. We had this awesome spot, and it was me, TJ Richter, another excellent friend of mine, and we've been up and down, however. I had this great idea where I was going to Quebecer style jump off the ropes, and I was just so fixated on this finish that, we were going over, and I was just happy to be a part of the finish,
right.
But before that, I obviously was the smallest guy in the match, so it'd be only common to take some heat, So I get powdered out at first, and then I feel a couple stings, and then that was a leather jacket. Evan Six is just smiling. He's cracking me with that leather jacket. You never seen somebody powder into the ring so hard.
Right.
Almost took a digger. Almost blew my quads out like Vince McMahon. But I tell you what, I came back in the ring. I dummy turned into the vertical suplex. Matt Storm, I swear, he had some type of double vision where he specifically found the female section of the crowd, pulled my trunks to the side, really held me up there like he's Bill Goldberg.
Yeah.
I think I said, brother, is out. No sell.
Yep.
Covers me up. Beautiful suplex. But you happy now, Matt? You happy?
Matt, thanks.
Thanks.
Mark Gomes, who has been your best opponent to wrestle and the worst?
The worst opponent to wrestle, I don't know if anybody's giving this answer. It's probably selfish. Myself. Not just wrestling, myself in the ring, because I do like to do the Al Snow style of wrestling. Nobody, but there's always a deeper layer to something, whatever it is.
Right.
So me and confidence issues and trying to find myself throughout my career and trying to rebuild some of the bridges that I've burned in the past. Not through my words, but through my actions. It takes time. It's a lot easier to lose respect than it is to earn it. And
True.
To be valued by my colleagues. I would like to mention that Nick Steele was absolutely somebody who believed in me when I was having an extremely hard time. And he would, pick me up from my house. I didn't have a car at the time or anything like that. No gas money, and wouldn't ask a dime. And we would go to practice, and that's the true embodiment of a real man. This, and mind you, I was very intimidated every time I stood across. My very first match, singles, was with Nick Steele.
Man, he's a very intimidating looking guy.
Yes.
Not that he's like looking at you mean, just that he was a very intimidating.
He had a
looking.
presence.
Yes.
He had a presence, and I think not a lot of people got to see a certain side. If they did, they did. If they didn't, they didn't. Whatever side of Nick you got was a respectable side.
Right.
And I do dearly miss him, and I'm sure I'm speaking for a lot of us here.
Very nice. Scott King, How did you
Skype.
end up trying to date my daughter? And how big of a jerk was I about it?
Well, I think it was a little bit of like I had a crush on his daughter.
Okay.
And I don't think his daughter was really interested in Reflex Eric Dillon with his trunks and vertical suplexes that go awry. So, I'm sure when she told her father that, oh, my friend wrestles, I'm sure he ate that up real well.
Right.
And, at the time, I think we had MySpace, and I think I got a friend request from him one time. And I think he was ribbing, but, I'm like 15 or 16 at the time. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, sir, and,
Things a father has to say. I got two
Absolutely.
daughters. Things a father has to say. If he feels it, he's got to say it.
He's got to say it. He's got to say it. But you know what? We've always been cool with each other. Caitlin, as far as I know, his daughter is doing very well. I think she's doing construction or something like that. Really something out of left pocket. And she's wherever she is. I hope she's as happy as I am right now.
Nice.
For the record, we didn't date. We just became friends. We're still friends on Facebook.
That's cool.
As well as I am with Scott, and I hope Scott's doing well too.
Excellent. All right. Next question is from Ken Watson. How has the pandemic affected your ability to focus on pro wrestling? I think you might have the first answer that people are not going to expect.
This is an advantage for me. This is an advantage for me, Leo, because I spent the majority, I would say the last 3 years, when I would say when PWF, shut its doors, things got a little rougher for me with substance abuse and trying to mask it became a little. I suppose it became more of a little bit of an open secret than something I would try and say kayfabe. Right. But the essential time of my 20s, I feel although I soaked in the knowledge, and I'm so thankful to have the mindset I do, starting taking bumps at 13, with Brickhouse Baker, and being 30 now, more than half my life is in wrestling already. Regardless if it's going to give anything back to me, I'm still going to continue to give it everything I have. I only owe myself at least to try this. And, I see these videos of, people knocking guys getting signed that are like 35 and maybe it just takes that much time to season these guys now.
Sometimes it does. You never know how fast. Look at Hanson.
I don't know.
Right? Seriously, Warbeard. It took him a long time to get there. And Sasha Banks took 2 years.
And
Kofi, 2 years.
It's not the talent or anything like that, because Todd, I've shared a locker room. I've had the privilege of sharing the locker room with, and running a spot. I believe at the last PWF show, we did a spin kicks spot, and he was great about it, and such a genuine guy. When they got signed, I was really really happy for it, and like I am with everybody locally. But of course, there's a little bit of should that have been me? But no, absolutely not. I wasn't putting in the work at the time. So how the pandemic has affected me is that I've literally become addicted to going to the gym, changing up my wrestling style. There's 19 hours of content in the WWE network. I probably got about 15 down. So, I would say I'm on a different level with the way I think about wrestling. I think approaching this as a man with my actions, as well as personality change, and ditch the idea of the white and black, and realize that, and I've realized this a while ago. Unfortunately, I just haven't been able to express that in the ring. But I've realized a while ago that it doesn't matter if you're a good or bad guy inside the ring. If you're a good person, that's going to bleed through regardless. Back to Hansen and these guys, they get signed and takes years, and Hansen way overdue and stuff like
Way
that.
overdue, yeah.
Some guys, I think of Chris Venom, Paul Lombardi. These are all guys, when I think of Chris Venom, the first person I thought of when I used to go see him wrestle, and I had the pleasure of working with him at Slam Tech a few times. He really reminded me of Mike Modest.
Nice.
And that's a compliment for
Definitely.
sure. The last show I worked actually was in Connecticut somewhere, and I saw Sean, Chris Venom, and he looked great, and he stays in good shape. I think he does some type of powerlifting, or
Yeah, he's doing something. I see his videos.
he's doing
sometimes.
something,
Yeah.
and he's still bigger than me. I mean, I'm very small, but I feel like I've been in the gym at least 6 days a week with Scott Levesque.
Right.
I'm getting as much ring time as I can down at Showcase with Don Vega.
Yep.
But ideally, I'd like to have one-on-one ring time more often. I don't want to it's not selfish to say this. I'm in no position to be a mentor at this point. I still crave this. I crave knowledge, and I crave to be a student of the game still. So when I have this promotion, whatever it may be, that I go to, and maybe I feel like a bigger fish in a smaller pond, it doesn't do so much for somebody's ego as you would think. It's just more so me trying to express myself, because that's all I have through this pandemic.
Right.
But there are absolutely bigger and huger ththings on the horizon. Stuff. One thing that's actually pretty legit that I would rather not say at the moment because it's unconfirmed, but it would really be something interesting.
Okay.
Next question.
All right. Shooter, Scott Anthony wants to know, and this is perfect too, because I was thinking about asking this question, but I'm going to ask mine because it goes along with this. You brought up how you go into the gym with Scott Levesque.
Yeah.
You get in the ring time with Don Vega.
Yeah.
They're two of your closest brothers. They're like brothers to you.
Yeah.
Along with Brandon Webb.
Yeah.
Why don't you let's talk about those guys for a few
Yeah,
minutes.
sure. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure.
What they mean to you. I mean, I know I never got to meet Don's father.
Sure.
I really wish I would have.
you
From
had
what
asked-
I've seen everybody say about him.
You had asked me before who are the closest people
Yes.
for me, and I said Don Vega's dad, Julio, and I've never seen such a I have a very close bond with my father, and I've never seen such a supportive relationship between father and son, and I really respected that. And both of those guys, whether I was doing good or not, took the time to call me throughout the week. I can't say enough good things about Julio. May he rest in peace. I love him, and Richie, Don Vega. We've been up and down the road, a ton of times, and another one of my favorite opponents. Which, if it's out there, there's a match between me and Don Vega, 2012. I want to say Woonsocket, Massachusetts. This is the James Allen.
New World Wrestling
New World
Extreme.
Wrestling Extreme.
Trooper.
Yes. Yeah, Trooper Gilmore. Or Crazy Chainsaw Master.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Never know. But we worked this match, and I've been trying to get this damn thing for, what year is it now? 2021?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's 10 years.
Wow.
So it was a good match. I guess I'll see it one day.
Yeah, I hope you do.
I hope you do.
As soon as you get it, you send it to me, and I'll definitely watch it too.
Yeah, you're damn right.
But all right. So before we go away from these guys too, we haven't really talked a lot about Brandon Webb.
Okay, Brandon, basically my best friend. There was a time where Brandon had got this place on County Street, which is a pretty popular section in New Bedford as far as, if you know New Bedford, you know County Street. I'm from, in the middle between Providence and Boston, I would say. So that if you know that area, that's pretty much where I am. It's pretty tight knit for the most part. I would say I know New Bedford better than I'm from Dartmouth, but I know that city better than my own.
Right.
And
we're talking about Brandon Webb.
We've just bonded in every single way. I have a running tab with Brandon Webb that's probably longer than our countdown. And we still got a little bit of a countdown to go. I think that's 4 digits. Yeah. I don't know. No, but actually, if he's listening right now, do you want to go to the casino? Do you want to go? No, me and Brandon like the casino. We've had a lot of fun. We like to go to New York. We like to, we do a lot of, every experience you could probably think of in wrestling and life, right, I've shared with Brandon first, and I've had the pleasure of sharing with Scott Levesque, Tony, who are, as an only child to me, these friendships that I don't think I would ever find, Right. It's comical when you have, Julio, Don Vega, and me in my Kurt Cobain sweater that I pulled off his body and the jeans I'm wearing now, and Don Vega with his jewelry, and Don Vega's dad looking like he owns the both of us in a Cuban car. He was the grandmaster, and we had so much fun, just walking down the streets. And I feel people would double take us, but that's because Don Vega's one of those guys that had a presence, And I'd like to think of myself. I always envisioned myself as a kid. I always wanted to be a wrestler or an action figure, so to speak. And I remember targeted as a kid, always towards the action figures that were tattooed and stuff. So, right. Here I am now. Most of my tattoos don't mean much, but there are a couple. But Brandon Webb is, I can't speak, we'd take up the rest of the show if I were to talk about Brandon and Tony and Don Vega and Nick Steele and Steve Ricard and Ryan Drew, Brickhouse Baker, Scott Ashworth, Matt Storm, Joe Eastman. Forgive me if I'm forgetting anybody, but there's just a lot of people that I genuinely feel like I could have a conversation with outside of wrestling, and I connect with them, whether I see them or not. I just feel they're, sometimes somebody is not who you expect. You know what I mean?
Right. Or like you meet someone
for good or for better or for worse.
Okay.
But I'm speaking for better.
Yeah.
A lot of people let sometimes distance or promotional heat when there was promotional heat.
Right.
Which is weird to say. Even at an independent level, it's weird to say promotional heat because in general, I feel like we should all be working towards professional wrestling as a whole.
Right.
If you're working, for me now, I can't speak for me being a hard time in the past, but for me now, if I go to the ring, I'd like to work. If I'm on first, I need to make sure that I'm protecting the legitimacy of this match and the referee and myself and my opponent.
Right.
And so that next match can also carry the same legitimacy. And if they drop the ball, that's not my fault.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Regardless if I'm first, third, eighth,
right.
Hopefully not ninth because that's a goddamn long show, But, pin me, pay me.
Yeah.
And I'm kidding.
All right. Listen, could you tell us about your sleeve? Are there any meanings behind any of the tattoos? And if so, what?
I guess those pictures were outdated because I have got an awful lot of more tattoos since then. There's something that fell behind me. I'm not going to say what it is, but I hope you all can still hear me. But Basically, this is just a traditional Japanese sleeve, and I think the only person that knows that this is in here.
Lift it up higher, though.
If I can lift that up a little higher, how about that?
Yeah, that's
Are we
good.
in there?
That's probably good.
We got Brickhouse Baker right here.
That's pretty awesome.
And I'm not sure if he knows about it, but I know David does. And
He does now. Well, he will when this comes out.
Well, I hope so. I hope he watched it. I think he blocked me on Facebook. What's up with that, Mike?
Wow. All right. Once the pandemic, this is still Shooter, Scott Anthony asking you questions, not Raven.
He just wants to hear his name twice.
Once the pandemic is behind us, would you want to continue on as an in-ring performer or focus on more mentoring young talent? You pretty much answered that already. You want to wrestle.
Yeah, man. I want to wrestle so bad. I can't watch, lately, I tell you what I watched this morning, June 6th, June 6th, Velocity, Shark Boy versus Chris Canyon. Chris Canyon, probably my second favorite wrestler.
Very, very underrated worker.
I would say Eddie Guerrero, Chris Canyon, and Shawn Michaels, from there. And then from a showmanship level, obviously, Macho Man, Hogan, and so forth. But, I try and take a little bit of everything and make it your own, obviously.
Right.
Imitation's flattery, but I would rather be the first Eric Dillon than the second.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, I brushed upon that. I want to wrestle. I just can't wait to lace these boots up again. It's going to feel really, really great. I've got a really good feeling this time. I've thought that before, but I don't think I've ever publicly. When you publicly say something, sort of binds you to your word a little bit more. And I've never really felt, in a place where I could, say that, I'm really happy. Is any of us really happy with how things are right now? No, but am I happy with how things are going in my life?
Right.
Am I happy with the company that I keep? Am I happy? Am I hurting anybody? Is anybody hurting me? And no,
Nice.
My goal, currently now, how I stay clean, I guess, I love to give stuff, I love, whether it's a story, I love to make people laugh, even if it's at my own expense, I'm an open book, man, I'm very easy to talk to. And, speaking of easy to talk to, Mistress Belmont was another person that I love to talk to. Incredible. She is, how do I say this? Because it's like me. If somebody gives you a compliment,
Yep.
And she knows she's so damn good, but sometimes it's tough to hear the compliment, because we're our own worst critics or whatever, but she's so good.
Yeah,
she's so good. If I had a time in APW where I was working in a little faction with Brandon Webb, and I had pitched an idea where, and I don't even think Belmont knows about this, but I had pitched an idea, I believe, to one of the promoters at the time, I think it was Big Woody, that I wanted her to have me on this dog collar, and I would just Brian Pillman style shake the guardrails and do the whole deal, which is what I pretty much do now, except on, nobody's got me leashed. But, I think that would have benefited the both of us, certainly. And at the time we were working in the same locker room with John Poe, her brother, who's another awesome guy to talk to. I mean,
big dude.
But I'll tell you what, you have a conversation with him, intelligent, soft-spoken, well-spoken,
I've never met John.
He's a really, really interesting man to talk to.
Nice. Well, Kathy still works for Atlantic Pro Wrestling.
I didn't even know Atlantic Pro Wrestling was still going on.
April 17th. I might as well say it now. They announced it 2 days ago.
Well,
back to the new. Listen, it's good news for everybody. They're running a show in Massachusetts.
Hey, that's good news. Now, you know where to find me. You know who you are, because I don't know who you are right now. APW, I'm very happy. This is awesome. This is big news, but I'm sure the card's already booked. But I'd actively like to show interest. I definitely
They're
would.
on Facebook?
Well, I do remember having a couple matches. I think my last match, I don't know who I beat. I think it was Anthony Green, but it doesn't matter. Who names
Who's
names?
that kid? No, I'm just kidding. Obviously,
but,
August Gray. That's twice I've called him Austin, and when I know he's called August.
Oh, I thought we were in March. I'm sorry.
All right, next question. Any good road stories?
Sure. Okay. So let me go back real quickly and remind you that I started in a very gray area where kayfabe was still very protected, and as a young person in the business, surrounded by everybody who've revitalized, and you're trying to gain their trust and companionship, you see an awful lot of stuff.
Right.
And, you shut these cameras off, I'll blow your wig back. But for TV, I got a couple of good ones. So this one time, Brickhouse Baker was driving us to a show in New Hampshire. And he was so sure he knows how to get there with his, pulling out his atlas. Boom.
Oh, yeah, this is before GPS and stuff.
No.
No, you had GPSs too?
Yeah. I think the GPS was going too. He just forgot it was on. I did too. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's
so
the maids to a good road story.
Well, yeah, because I'm here today and alive because we were in a minivan on two wheels for a good 60 seconds until he got us into the lane. And I got a same escaping death story with me and Don Vega in this classic ass Saab with, Julio on the passenger seat, Don Vega in the front seat. We're debating whether or not we want to take this toll or this toll. We're driving. We hit the wrong one. We're like, oh, this is the big one. Vega's like, payasos, mess with that, back up, reverse. We reversed on the highway. Thank God we didn't hit those barrels or nothing. And I have a funny story that goes after this. After we finally we backed up on the highway and I literally felt my, 5 grandfathers before me flash before my eyes. We decided to play Richie, who's the most famous person in your phone or something. So I'm pretty, amongst a small circle of my friends, I can do some pretty good impressions of some people. You know what I mean? But I thought it would be funny at the time. Obviously, this was before Dusty Rhodes has passed away. I love Dusty Rhodes. But I decided to call Diamond Dallas Page on the way home from our road trip. And this was his, shoot number.
Right.
So I called him and it rings, and, it wasn't, sent to voicemail or anything. I got the legit, hey, this is Dally, not Dally, but this is Dallas,
right.
Leave a message calling back. So Richie says, I'm like, what do I do? And he says, so I say, brother, this is Dusty Rhodes. I hear you've been doing some sweet DDP yoga and I've been getting a little stretchy. I got to come down and do some exercises with your baby. And then I hung up before I cracked up. The next day, Richie calls me. Dallas called me back. He obviously had to kayfabe the call, right?
Wow.
So Dallas left the message back. Hey, Dusty, call me back. Like he knew he was in on it too, But obviously I must have hit him with a good enough one where whoever it was he wanted to talk to. I wish I called him back.
Nice. All right. How about getting any good ribs?
Good ribs? Oh, geez, I don't know. On me, older ones, there was, I wouldn't necessarily call like shark bait a rib or anything like that, but, older ribs that don't happen anymore that would definitely weed out a lot of people is like, I remember getting out to pump gas and then them driving 2 or 3 miles down the road and I'm having to run to catch up to them. And as soon as I get to that van door, they hit the gas again, and we're in Adams, Massachusetts, or Adams, wherever we were, it was this motel, the Dugout. And who's ever stayed at the Dugout knows exactly what I'm talking about. Speaking of the Dugout, I got one more for you.
Yep.
So this is like one of my first road shows. I'm doing guardrails, camera, Polaroids, for Steve and Yankee Pro and South Coast at the time. And we stay at the Dugout and I say, okay, guys, I'm going to take a shower. Well, I'm so naive. Well, I lock the door. Just with my friends.
Right.
I'm 14. These guys are hammering Budweisers. I'm sorry, no. I think we were drinking Schaefer's at the time.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I hear the door crack open. I'm like, they probably threw my clothes out or whatever. Normal rib. Rib. I got Steve Langer. Then right after that, I got Nick Steele. They took 2 fresh hot dumps in my steaming shower, didn't flush it, shut the door on me and walked out. I'll tell you what, man, it was harmless, it was funny, and I really miss those days. And, I think, with the whole cancel culture and all that, so it sucks that sometimes you feel like you have to bite your tongue, but, we all have to realize that these things have happened, whether or not, you've participated in them or not, or you've been around them. It doesn't make anybody a bad person. We're all growing into this new era. We're all growing into this new stage. So, we all deserve a break and a little slack. I don't believe in any cancellation.
Right.
Please cancel me right away. I don't believe in the word. I mean, triggered, I appreciate anybody who can understand the word triggered and not apply it in a daily form of something, but I just don't understand that. There's, I don't know the wrestling business like I did for who's in it right now.
Right.
But if things are going to be the way they are, we're going to be walking on eggshells. And that's essentially going to be detrimental to not only the morale of who's ever running what specific show, but workers talk, and workers don't just talk. We play telephone, and we don't necessarily mean to, but that's just how it is. So when that word eventually gets around, where are we? We're trying to find ourselves. You know what I mean? Here's Handsome Johnny 10 years ago. What if he was in that era there where he wanted to experiment something different, and he felt as if he couldn't express his art because it may offend somebody. Well, to me, art is to be how it is perceived, and wrestling is art. Wrestling is choreographed theater. We give each other our bodies, and we protect each other to the best of our ability. I can go on. The only serious injury I've ever had is a torn labrum. And a broken nose from Brandon Webb like twice in one night. But, I think that's pretty good. And I can honestly tell you, I've never injured anybody. Nice. I take pride in that because, if we can just get through the dance and go home and do it again, that's what it's all about, It's more the car rides and lacing up and having a couple, beers or whatever after, and really just enjoying the company of people that I bonded together through this one wacky ass thing that is still, carny as hell, but it's wrestling, it's conformed carny. And that's why we need these guys like Triple H and Cody on TV to present themselves in this fashion that pro wrestling is attractive to people who aren't smart to the business, to make it more attractive, just as if an NFL spokesman were to speak or any other legitimate sports person were to speak. Dana White can wear flip-flops and speak, and that word is taken seriously, regardless. We need to get to that point in pro wrestling, and I definitely think we're getting there. With the terrible circumstances, I still feel like the mainstream wrestling that we have now, they're doing the best they can.
Yes.
As far as portraying, Paul Levesque himself. You don't see him going out and doing, doing much other than scheduled, organized interviews that will get his product to the next level. And the same thing with Cody. And the same thing with Billy Corgan and the NWA and, MLW, Court Bauer, a lot of these companies have a lot of resources. And I think that, once you find a little bit of confidence in yourself, we all realize that we're just people. And if you just send a message to somebody, I can attest to you that no doesn't mean no. Because if you annoy them enough, you have to make them feel like you're stupid for not wanting me, because I have something to offer. I'm hungry, I'll sweep these floors and I'll wrestle and I'll do whatever. No job is too small for me because I love this so much. This
is a great attitude to have.
Yeah. And you would think it would be like tiring to keep it up after wrestling or being around wrestling for so long. But I'm thankful that it's an attitude that I've adapted over these few years, that I've been able to, reassess my life and really get myself on the right track. And I'm just waiting for this to be all over with and, really start pushing forward back,
Nice. All right. Scott has one last question.
Yep.
How did the Reflex persona come about for Eric Dillon?
Real quick about that. That is such a quick story because it was so simplistic and I was so against it. Didn't understand it. But at the time, I didn't realize that, by the way, I've wrestled Robbie Ellis 11 times and I have his jacket that he did give me. All right. Just saying. But at the time, I didn't realize that being a 17-year-old guy in trunks could get you some good bookings,
Yeah, because he wanted to wrestle you.
Oh, yeah, sure. But there was one time where he gave me the crotch thing in the corner.
Yeah.
And I was wearing jeans and I had my trunks underneath. Talked to a couple boys in the back. I pulled my pants down. I gave it right back to him just as hard. We finished the match. He came through the curtain. That
Yeah. He was happy?
No, he was pissed, but he went downstairs, gave me a big hug and a smile. He went happy home in his van. I think he had a great match because I wrestled him 11 more times after that. I just wish he didn't kick me in the balls every time he get me with that DDT. 11 times. I'm 11-0 with Robbie Ellis. Give me one. Well, not now, please. I hope you're well. Love you, Robbie.
All right. So we'll play the name game. We got a little over 9 minutes.
Yeah. All right. If you really, we could get controversial with that one.
Here we go.
Who's on the list, man?
First one, I'm gonna just give you the first one. Is he was here last week? Jose Perez.
Jose Perez. Okay. Another. How are we describing Nick Steele with a presence? Right. Another man with a presence. I like Jose a lot. I'm not sure if he likes me, but that's just Jose. You have to really talk to him to get to understand him. But his knowledge for the business, his contributions, whether it be Under the Mask years ago, Yankee Pro,
right,
and then coming back, for his last match with my trainer Brickhouse Baker. Yep. There's always going to be that emotive connection,
right,
for me. I got the chance to wrestle against him once in a tag match. I believe it was him and Matt Storm versus me and TJ Richter, and I didn't take a suplex in that match, just for the record. All right, Jose's a great guy.
All right.
I mean, I wish I could say more, but I don't know much.
Evan Six.
Evan Six is a funny dude. Great taste in music. I guess we have the same pain tolerance and tattoos, but I'm not sure if I could do my head yet. He's a brave one on that. But every time we're in the ring, I'll tell you what, Evan. Some people would say Evan likes to connect, but you know, he gets it in. But he'll take it back just the same. And that may take you a couple times, right? But it took me a couple times, especially after that suplex. But anyways, we've always had a camaraderie. You know, friend on Facebook. See his statuses on a daily. You know, glad he's doing good.
Awesome.
Hope he's doing well.
All right. So we brought up Matt Storm a few times. How about Kyle Storm?
Kyle Storm, I haven't had the pleasure of really getting to get close with him as much as Matt, except when I had my stint at PWF where, you know, of course, if Kyle or Matt were to ever pull me aside and talk to me about the direction of wherever something was going, I'd be attentive to that. But me and him really didn't have any... you know, we made quirks to each other back and forth. You know, Kyle could be a smart ass like me, so we'll rib each other back and forth or whatever. You know, but he holds his own, and you know, Mad Dog and his brother have always been, you know, to me in my head as a kid before you know, the Damned and stuff.
Right.
They're kind of sort of like the Steiner brothers in a way. You know, there's not one without the other, whether they're on the same page or not. You know, I actually don't think I've ever wrestled Kyle, but you know, as far as the Storm Brothers go, they've done nothing but enhance my career.
Nice.
So love them both.
Triplicious.
My boy, Triplicious, Eddie, man, that is a good dude. I'm so impressed with how somebody who at that, I suppose, when he had made his conversion to decide to switch this up and find himself in this Savio Vega style gangster style character, he is a star.
Yeah.
You know? And he's good.
Real good.
Before this.
Yes.
This is just people are realizing.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah, he's been doing this for like 17, 18
They'll realize
years.
it with me, and that's fine too.
Right.
Triplicious was smart, and he decided to, you know, take his chances with maybe smaller promotions. Like I know he started working with RWA just to chance it out, and man, that turned his career around because they really pumped their footage out at the time, and a very loyal fan base. Working for T Phoenix was really easy. I didn't make it easy for him. And, you know, I hope that's water under the bridge, but, I certainly had fun during my time there. And I wish I could have used that as a step ladder as well as, Trips did into Beyond and so forth, because, yeah, I've seen some killer matches with him. You know?
He's done some great things, and there's no doubt he helped with Christian Casanova. You know, when they put them together. So, I mean, it's just, I've said it here before. I've had him on the show. Guy's incredible worker.
And Christian Casanova, another guy, great kid, always, to me, had the mentality of wanting to learn.
Right.
Hung around the guys that he knew was more successful.
Right.
You know, another person I'd like to speak highly on, Bobby Ocean.
Yep.
Slick Wagner Brown.
Yep.
These are all guys. I sometimes speak with Bobby Ocean, maybe on, you know, a couple times a month on the phone.
I love both those guys.
You know, and I know, and it's a little bit of a drive for me to get to their class, but I do know it's open. You know, and to just be welcome there is heartwarming to me. You know, because who am I? You know, and though I've worked with both of them, you know, it's just who am I, and what have I done to earn that respect? And regardless of what it is, I'm not going to overthink it, but I'm going to appreciate it and embrace it and try and take as many opportunities and avenues without, you know, hurting anybody or stepping on as many heads. But don't get me wrong, if I got to step on skulls to get to where I need to be, I will.
You got to look out for number one.
That's right.
How about Buddy Romano?
I like Buddy. I think he's misunderstood. I want to say, I don't speak on anybody's personal life because I don't know. But I do remember he was in an angle at one point with Scott Levesque, and we've hung out a couple times together, but never outside really the business. I'm not sure if he felt. To me, he seemed timid, and he's liked. He's liked. I think sometimes people, second guess themselves a little too much. It can be detrimental.
You brought this guy up earlier in the interview, Scott Ashworth.
Oh, Scott Ashworth. I love Scott Ashworth. One of the Sharp Dressed Man was the first thing I heard for my first show. And it was, I believe, maybe Scott Ashworth versus Don Juan DeSanto or something.
Wow.
And he, there was a little projector, and he had the dancing baby. It was great. And this was before the hammock bumps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, whoa. Scott has, again, hand-selected me to work with him multiple times, whether it be on the road, and has given me the opportunity to work when he could have chosen 10 other people, you know?
Right.
So there's a trust in us there. He was definitely a heavy part in my training.
Right.
Like I said, it was Brickhouse Baker on Wednesdays, and Sundays with Scott Ashworth or Johnny Angel, So, and then eventually Spike Dudley over from there. So, just all these guys I still look at like, I'm 12 years old, except we're all men.
Yep. It's awesome, the respect you have for everybody in the business. Eric, we got less than a minute. Why don't you look at the camera and plug your social media?
Listen, this is Eric Dillon. Whether you want to call me Kid Reflex or not, this is 90 original, like the original 90, like Soundgarden, like Chris Cornell, like that type of old stuff. You know what I mean? I'm trying to bring it all together. Check out my social media at Temple of the Kid on Instagram and Facebook. I believe might be facebook.com/Reflex Wrestling. Does that sound right?
I'm not sure.
All right.
I thought it might have been.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah?
Well, you know where to find me.
Look him up. Guys, Eric,
up.
again, thank you.
My boy.
Man, we're out. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.